man stands on his lawn, watching himself disappear into the atomic age. In 1957, Universal Studios released a film so philosophically daring that executives begged the director to dumb it down. The Incredible Shrinking Man became the first science fiction movie to ask not, can we survive, but what does it mean to exist? Today, we're uncovering 15 facts about the film that dared to shrink a man down to nothing and somehow made him larger than life. Let's dig in. Number 1. The line that changed sci-fi forever. Most monster movies of the 1950s ended with the hero blowing up the threat and kissing the girl. Not this one. The Incredible Shrinking Man closes with protagonist Scott Carey shrinking past the subatomic level, accepting his fate with 3 haunting words. I still exist. It's a philosophical mic drop that left 1950s audiences sitting in stunned silence. This wasn't just a B-movie anymore. It was existential poetry dressed in science fiction clothing. No explosions, no victory, just a man accepting his place in an infinite universe. Critics immediately recognized something revolutionary was happening. For the first time, a sci-fi film rejected the survival instinct in favor of cosmic acceptance. The genre would never be quite the same. Number 2. Inspired by a real fog incident. So, where did this wild concept come from? Writer Richard Matheson, yes, the same guy who gave us I Am Legend, was driving through Los Angeles when he encountered a strange chemical fog. As the mist swirled around his car, a terrifying thought crossed his mind. What if this stuff never left my body? What if it changed me at a molecular level? That single moment of paranoia became the seed for one of science fiction's most unsettling premises. Matheson wrote the novel in 1956, and Universal snapped up the rights almost immediately. But there was one problem. No one knew if they could actually film it. Number 3. The film's director wanted to quit. Jack Arnold had already made his name with Creature from the Black Lagoon and Tarantula. He knew monster movies. But when Universal handed him The Incredible Shrinking Man, Arnold's first reaction was to walk away. Too weird to shoot, he reportedly told executives. The concept seemed impossible. How do you show a man gradually shrinking without making it look ridiculous? But then Arnold read Matheson's poetic ending, that final monologue about infinity and existence. Something clicked. This wasn't just another creature feature. This was art disguised as pulp. Arnold signed on, with one condition: the ending stays exactly as written. That decision would save the film's soul. Number 4. The giant set was a real house. Once production began, the crew faced a massive challenge, literally. To make actor Grant Williams look tiny, they couldn't just use camera tricks. They needed physical scale. So, Universal's set designers built enormous furniture and props, each piece handcrafted from wood and steel. A 15-foot chair, a 20-foot pencil, a 10-foot mousetrap that actually worked. The basement set alone took 6 weeks to construct and filled an entire soundstage. Every nail, every splinter, every water droplet had to be proportionally scaled up. The result? When Williams stands next to that giant furniture, your brain accepts it as real. No CGI safety net, just craftsmen building the impossible. Number 5. The spider scene took weeks to film. Now let's talk about the most terrifying sequence in the film, Scott's battle with the tarantula. That scene, which lasts about 7 minutes on screen, required 3 full weeks of filming. The crew shot the tarantula separately against a blank background, then painstakingly composited those frames with footage of Williams wielding a sewing needle like a sword. Frame by frame, no computers, just optical printers, steady hands, and exhausting precision. The editors had to match every movement, every shadow, every twitch of the spider's legs. One mistake and the illusion shatters. They didn't make a single one. Number 6. The spider was a Hollywood star. Here's a fun detail, that tarantula had already appeared in another Universal film. Remember Tarantula from 1955? Same spider. Universal kept the arachnid on contract. Yes, really, because it was trained to respond to heat and air blasts. This made it somewhat predictable for filming, though handlers still worked behind protective barriers. The studio saved money by reusing their 8-legged employee, and audiences got maximum realism. Talk about typecasting. Number 7. The actor refused a stunt double. Grant Williams could have let a stunt performer handle the dangerous stuff. Instead, he insisted on doing it himself. Williams crawled through real dust, waded through actual water puddles, and grappled with oversized props that could have genuinely injured him. During the spider fight, he even battled against a mechanical spider leg during close-ups, a massive hydraulic prop that could have broken bones if it malfunctioned. Why take the risk? Williams believed the audience would sense the difference. He wanted every moment to feel authentic, and you can see that commitment in every frame. Number 8. No one believed it could be filmed. When Universal executives first saw Matheson's script, their response was blunt. This is technically impossible. The shrinking effects seemed beyond the capabilities of 1950s filmmaking. The studio nearly canceled production twice during pre-production, convinced the concept would bankrupt them or look laughable. Jack Arnold saved the project by shooting test footage, demonstrating that with oversized sets, careful compositing, and precise camera work, the illusion could work. Those test reels convinced the studio to greenlight the film, but everyone involved knew they were attempting something that had never been done before. Number 9. Every shot required 2 cameras. Here's where things get technically insane. To merge the giant sets with normal-sized footage, showing Scott's wife at regular scale, for example, the crew had to shoot every single scene twice. Same lighting, same camera angles, matching positions down to the inch. Then editors would combine the 2 pieces of film, creating split-screen composites that fooled the eye. No digital tools to help align things, just measurements, mathematics, and prayer. It was a coordination nightmare, and it added months to the production schedule. But the result was seamless movie magic. Number 10. The film's ending was cut for being too smart. As filming wrapped, studio executives grew nervous about that philosophical ending. Test audiences weren't sure how to react to a finale with no resolution, no rescue, no return to normal life. The executives begged Arnold to simplify it, maybe add a hint that Scott could grow back, or end on a more hopeful note. Arnold's response? That speech is the movie. He refused every suggested change. The ending stayed intact. Scott shrinking into infinity, delivering a monologue about the universe and his place in it. That defiance gave cinema one of its most profound finales. Audiences might have been confused initially, but critics and science fiction writers recognized something special immediately. Number 11. It was the first sci-fi film to question God. Most 1950s sci-fi films were about alien invasions or atomic monsters, external threats to be defeated. The incredible shrinking man looked inward. No aliens, no bombs. Just one man confronting infinity and asking the biggest questions. What am I? What does my existence mean? Where do I fit in the cosmos? Critics at the time called it the first science fiction story about the soul. The film dared to suggest that being human wasn't about size or power, it was about consciousness and wonder. That was radical stuff for a decade known for monster schlock. Number 12. It won a Hugo Award. In 1958, The Incredible Shrinking Man achieved something unprecedented. It won a Hugo Award, the science fiction community's highest honor. At the time, Hugos were almost exclusively literary awards given to novels and short stories. Movies were considered entertainment, not serious science fiction. The Academy of Sci-Fi Writers had never honored a film before. The very idea seemed ridiculous to most members. But the Hugo voters recognized that this film transcended its B-movie origins. It treated science fiction as a medium for genuine philosophical exploration, worthy of the same respect given to authors like Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke. The win sparked heated debate within the science fiction community. Some purists argued that cinema couldn't match the depth of literature. Others saw it as proof that the medium was evolving. That award legitimized sci-fi cinema in the eyes of the literary establishment and opened doors for ambitious projects. Films like 2001, A Space Odyssey, and Solaris owe a debt to this moment, when Hollywood science fiction earned the right to be taken seriously. Number 13. It was a box office risk that paid off. Universal didn't expect much from a movie about a man getting smaller. No romance, no happy ending, no real villain to defeat. The studio gave it a modest budget and limited marketing, treating it as a B-picture filler between bigger releases. Executives projected mediocre returns at best. Then something unexpected happened. Audiences showed up. Not just the usual sci-fi crowd, but mainstream moviegoers intrigued by the existential premise. Word of mouth spread like wildfire. Theater owners reported packed houses weeks after release, unusual for a genre film without major stars. The film became one of Universal's biggest hits of 1957, earning back multiple times its production cost and outperforming several A-list features the studio had bet bigger money on. Turns out, people were hungry for science fiction that treated them like intelligent adults, capable of handling ambiguity and philosophy. The success sent shockwaves through Hollywood. It proved that genre films didn't need to dumb down to succeed, that audiences would embrace challenging material if the storytelling was strong enough. Studios started greenlighting more ambitious sci-fi projects, recognizing that the audience was smarter than they'd assumed. Number 14. The actor was blacklisted later. Here's a tragic footnote. Grant Williams delivered the performance of his life in this film. He should have become a major star. Instead, his career faded into obscurity. Why? Williams spoke publicly about unfair studio contracts and the way actors were exploited by the system. Hollywood doesn't like troublemakers. Universal quietly stopped casting him despite his breakout performance. By the 1960s, Williams was relegated to television guest spots. He died in 1985, largely forgotten. The Incredible Shrinking Man remains his lasting legacy, a reminder of what might have been. Number 15. The special effects team invented new lenses. The film's technical innovations extended beyond the sets. To capture miniature details in sharp focus, particularly in the basement scenes, cinematographer Ellis Carter and his team built custom wide-angle lenses from scratch. These lenses could hold both the foreground and background in focus simultaneously, creating the illusion of vast scale. The technology they developed was later adapted for Star Trek, 2001, A Space Odyssey, and countless other productions. The Incredible Shrinking Man didn't just tell a story, it advanced the craft of filmmaking itself. The Incredible Shrinking Man proved that B-movies could ask big questions and that science fiction belonged in the conversation about serious cinema. If you loved diving into these forgotten facts, hit that subscribe button. We're uncovering the weird, wild stories behind classic films every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.